The ability to move is the lifeblood of our towns and cities. When people can move freely, they are liberated, happier and often healthier. When they can't, they feel imprisoned, frustrated and stressed. So keeping the flow of people moving is a vital part of successful urban communities. If we imagine better, we can envision very different urban environments, where people are able to walk or cycle safely, getting themselves fitter in the process, where the car is not king, but is just one element of a diverse transport mix, where the air is clean, congestion doesn't choke the streets, there is plenty of safe public space, and people move efficiently in terms of time and energy consumed, and where tensions between different road users are reconciled. However, many of our towns and cities are a long way from that utopia. Cars jam our streets bumper to bumper, their appetite for limited road space discourages fearful cyclists, and their exhaust fumes pollute everyone. Even if we're not technically gridlocked, we are still enslaved to the tyranny of the car. Traditionally, we have managed the urban transport mix, responding to the situation as we find it. We anticipate traffic trends and then formulate policy to meet them. That is the past. The future is leadership, actively managing demand and changing our towns and cities to be cleaner, greener and more efficient to get around. In a rapidly changing world, everything from smartphone technology to shifting work patterns and practices, from driverless cars to electric bicycles, is likely to transform how we move about. And it's going to happen fast, especially in cities. We do not want to be building the infrastructure of yesterday for tomorrow. So we must lead the change we need, not just react to what we think we want. And to do that, we must engage and inspire people. We need to offer a powerful, compelling vision of where we're going. We need to tell interesting stories that resonate with people. We need to create salience of the solutions, the ability of people to imagine the possibilities in their mind's eye. And finally, we need visibility and social proof of the changes required, that people are joining a movement, that they are not alone, and that we are all in this together. We need visions that capture the public imagination. Post the COP21 climate change conference in Paris, a fossil fuel-free energy future is not a question of if, it's a question of when. And we need similar visions for sustainable urban transport. This requires ambition. Even if we are all driving clean, green electric vehicles, we'll still all be stuck in clean, quiet traffic jams. The Stone Age didn't end because we ran out of stone, and the age of the car will not end because of a shortage of cars. We must actively incentivise them off the roads, practically and psychologically. Conventional methods of parking restrictions, congestion charges, traffic calming schemes, home zones and segregated bike lanes, whilst all laudable, will not achieve this alone. We need visions of sustainable urban mobility, because mobility is what we are really selling. The ability to get where you need to go quickly, comfortably and efficiently. Many cities have cycling or walking visions, but few have truly integrated visions with a future destination in mind. I think we need clear, practical ideas of how we change people's mindsets and expectations of what is possible. It's about shifting perspectives from the individual to the collective. As the TomTom advert says, you are not stuck in traffic, you are traffic. And at Futerra, the specialist change agency I co-founded 15 years ago, we call this selling the sizzle. It comes from an American hot dog salesman who said, if you want to sell the sausage, you don't sell the sausage itself, you sell the sizzle, the smell, the sound, the anticipation of the sausage cooking on the grill. Because if not, you are selling a dead pig. And when it comes to sustainability, we are really good at selling dead pigs. In many ways, we are still living the legacy of the Futurama exhibition from the 1939 New York World Fair. Sponsored by General Motors, this interactive showcase put forward an unapologetic vision of car-oriented cities of the future. It struck a chord and has arguably influenced much urban development ever since, leading to chocker streets and sprawling suburbia.
Over a spectacular suspension bridge, the motorway enters a large city, spanning the navigable river on which it is situated and forming a gateway to the city. A feature of this bridge is the elimination of congestion and the elimination of interference from all the various converging motorways and from all the feeder roads. And now we see a great river city of 1960. 20 years ago, the population of this city was approximately 1 million persons. It is much larger, rebuilt and replanned. Residential, commercial, and industrial areas all have been separated for greater efficiency and greater convenience.
But what we need now are visions that take us to a very different future, where traditional car ownership and daily use is likely to be replaced by shared ownership and collaborative use as just one part of a flexible system of mobility that relies much more heavily on public transport, cycling and walking. And we bring these visions to life by telling the stories that illuminate the road towards them. And there are plenty of these from around the world. In Nantes, in France, the municipality created a fil vert, a green thread, a trail traceable by a green line that runs over 8.5 kilometres through the city centre. It encourages walking and cycling along a route that takes in specially commissioned artworks and notable historical monuments, reinforcing a car-free way of enjoying the city. And often we can learn a lot from the storytelling of transport safety campaigns too. Melbourne, Australia's Metro Trains public information campaign Dumb Ways to Die uses humour to make an important point about safety on and near the tracks.
Set fire to your hair, poke a stick at a grizzly bear, eat medicine that's out of date, use your private parts as piranha bait. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die.
Using your private parts as piranha bait is definitely a dumb way to die, as is fooling around on railway lines. Laughter is a great way of embedding a serious lesson. Even the wording of information can be important. Transport for London brought out "Cyclists Stay Back" stickers for the rear of vehicles after a spate of cycling deaths and accidents in the city. But the confrontational wording caused a backlash and spawned a much more popular "Cyclists Stay Awesome" guerrilla campaign. The upbeat message resonated much better than the authoritarian order. In Sweden, the Fun Theory campaign has had several clever incarnations. It began with a musical staircase on the underground metro that encouraged the public to take the stairs, not the escalator, to harmonious effect. This was then followed by the Speed Camera Lottery, a scheme whereby speed camera fines from naughty motorists were put in a pot of cash, which was then awarded through a draw to motorists who obeyed the speed limit. Both of these are great creative examples of positive incentivisation, of the power of the carrot, not the stick. And then there's salience, the prominence, noticeability and importance of alternative transport solutions. China's Green Pedestrian Crossing campaign began in Shanghai and later rolled out to 15 other cities nationwide and used a large image of a tree on a busy road. The tree grew leaves from the footprints of crossing pedestrians that picked up a water-based ink from green sponges on either side on their shoes. As more people crossed the tree, they became more leafy, visibly reinforcing the idea of walking as environmentally friendly in China's fume-choked cities. Simple, visual, powerful. Other campaigns such as car-free days or special Bike the City days, or even the installation of city bike schemes, change the perception of supposedly alternative transport modes such as cycling in people's minds. They celebrate the possible and change people's perceptions of the status quo through positive experience. A sort of try before you buy strategy that encourages experimentation. And this leads me to my next point around social proof. We are highly influenced by the behaviour of those around us. We tend to mirror what others do, what is considered normal. We are herd animals. When I first started cycling in London 15 years ago, it was a lonely experience. Now my morning commute is like the Tour de France peloton. The growing numbers of London cyclists have created a momentum. What was once considered quirky, eco or eccentric is now sensible. People are willing to join what they see as a successful trend and are also safer amongst the increased numbers of cyclists on the road. A virtuous cycle in full effect. In communicating sustainable mobility, we'd do well to apply the lessons of Futera's work on selling sustainability. This report focuses on the motivations of our target audiences and how sustainability can add value for them. What's in it for them? Why should they care? What are the benefits? Without these being explicit, communications are likely to be overlooked or fail to connect. There are basically three types of value we can add: functional, emotional, and social. Functional value is the basic stuff. Does it save people money? Does it save them time? Does it give them a better experience? Is it safer or less risky? Does it make their life easier? Emotional value is the internal motivation. Is it a more sensory or comfortable experience? Is it exciting? Does it heighten self-worth or make people happier? And finally, social value, or the external motivation. Can it improve social or family bonding, make people seem more desirable, prove how cool or smart people are, create a sense of belonging or community? Again, in practice, one of the reasons that cycling has grown exponentially in London, more than doubling in 10 years, and targeted to double again by 2026, is because it has created added value for people. It saves money, you get there quicker, the exercise makes you happier and gives you nice tight bum cheeks. It's become a smart, attractive choice, and you're no longer alone in doing it. True, it is still hazardous. London's air is still polluted, and cycling in heavy traffic in the rain is not exactly fun. But with the new segregated cycle superhighways crisscrossing the city, it is also getting safer, and there is every sign the trend will continue. The last point to make is about audience characteristics. We need to empathise with those we are trying to influence, and as well as adding value to their experience, recognise their own values and aspirations. At Futera, we use a model developed by an organisation called Cultural Dynamics. They break people down into segments of pioneers, prospectors and settlers to understand what drives them. Let's look at them through a cycling lens. Green pioneers are motivated by activism and novelty. They want to do the right thing and are prepared to experiment and innovate in order to do so. I'm a green pioneer on my trusty rusty Dutch bicycle, hence my relatively lonely cycling adventures in the past before it was trendy. Gold prospectors are motivated by benefit, sentiment and status. They want a better experience that they can share, and they want to be seen as successful and smart. They are the hipster cyclists with beards and lumberjack shirts on fixies, or those clad in lycra on a very expensive midlife crisis bike. Finally, brick settlers want to be safe and save money. So in a cycling context, they are probably a bit conflicted, especially in London. But cycling is also safe in that it's reliable. You know pretty much when you will get to your destination, rather than being at the mercy of public transport or mired in congestion. But we can quickly see how using these audience insights, understanding what drives them, and exploring what functional, emotional and social value we can add for them in the context of sustainable urban mobility will make a real difference to the way we design and develop our creative communications campaigns. We need to combine this knowledge with big, sizzling visions of where we both want and need to go. We need to tell compelling and interesting stories about those already on the road. We need to create the visible salience and tangible social proof of joining a big, successful movement. And if we do that, we have an amazing opportunity for radical, not just incremental change.
Great communications is not rocket science, but it does require courage, risk-taking and research. The best creativity relies on insight and uses provocative humour to attract attention and generate interest. Only by combining robust, evidence-led logic and real communications magic will we build the campaigns we need to make serious change. And if you're ready for that, if you're serious about it, it's time to get on the bus.
Oh, I want to let the handbrake off.